The days blur together, cold mornings, restless nights, and the constant pounding of artillery somewhere in the distance. I no longer think about the forge or the life I left behind, that Marco feels like a stranger. We are stationed near the river now, a ragtag group of volunteers mixed with soldiers who actually know what they're doing. Petro and I share a dugout we built ourselves, reinforced with logs and mud. The smell of damp earth never leaves us. Every morning, we wake to the same routine: clean rifles, check ammunition, choke down whatever rations were given. Then we wait. Waiting has become the hardest part, every hour knowing that at any moment, death might sweep down on us. One night, around the small fire we've dared to light, Petro tries to smile. Remember when the worst thing we worried about was whether the harvest would be good? I manage a faint laugh. Feels like another life. He grows quiet for a moment, then says, when this is over, I'm building a bigger house. One with room for my parents, my sisters, everyone. No more scraping by. I nod, though I can't bring myself to picture a future anymore. The officer gathers us soon after. We move tonight, he says. Scouting mission across the river. We need to know where they're hiding before the main force arrives. My stomach tightens. Another mission, another chance not to return. But I follow anyway. What else is there to do? The moon is just a sliver as we slip into the water, rifles held above our heads. The river is icy, stealing the breath from my lungs, but no one dares make a sound. We reach the opposite bank and move quietly through the reeds, boots squelching in the mud. Every snapped twig feels deafening in the night. Petro takes point beside me, eyes sharp. Ahead, the officer signals for us to spread out. There's a cluster of abandoned huts just beyond the treeline. I can hear my heartbeat in my ears. My finger hovers near the trigger. Then, a shout. A flash. Gunfire erupts. Ambush. Someone yells. The world explodes into chaos. Muzzle flashes blaze in the darkness as bullets whip past my head. I drop to the ground, firing wildly toward the shadows. A figure rushes me, bayonet glinting. Instinct takes over. I lunge forward, jamming my rifle into his chest and pulling the trigger. The shot echoes. He crumples at my feet. For a moment, everything slows. I stare at the lifeless body, the face twisted in pain. My stomach lurches. I want to vomit, to scream, but there's no time. Marco, move. Petro shouts, grabbing my arm. We stumble back toward the river, firing as we go. One of our men goes down with a cry, another vanishes into the dark. We dive into the freezing water, bullets hissing around us. My chest burns as I swim, praying to reach the other side. When we finally crawl onto our bank, only half of us remain. I collapse on the mud, gasping, hands shaking violently. I've killed a man. And I can't stop seeing his face. The camp is silent that night. We sit around a small lantern, the survivors staring into nothing. No one speaks about what happened. I can't sleep. Every time I close my eyes, I see him, the man I killed. I wonder if he had a family, if someone is waiting for him the way Lena waits for me. Petro notices me trembling. It was him or you, he says quietly. Don't think about it. But I can't stop. I've crossed a line I never thought I would. A week later, replacements arrive, fresh-faced boys who still believe in heroism. Among them is Andrei, barely 19, full of nervous energy. Well, show them, he says, grinning like he's heading to a festival, not a battlefield. Petro shakes his head. He won't last long. The days grow harsher, constant skirmishes, artillery pounding so close the ground shakes beneath us. Food runs short. Sleep becomes a luxury. One morning, we're ordered to defend a ruined village. The enemy pushes hard, house to house, forcing us back inch by inch. I fire until my shoulder feels like it's breaking, smoke stinging my eyes. We hold, but barely. Andrei is among the wounded, shrapnel tore through his leg. I help carry him to safety, his cries echoing in my ears long after he's taken away. Petro sits beside me that night, staring at nothing. How many more, Marco? How many more of us before it ends? I have no answer. The order comes at dawn, a counterattack to retake the bridge we'd once defended. The enemy has reinforced their side, but command insists we can't lose it. We march through the morning mist, rifles clutched tight. Petro walks beside me, jaw set, eyes distant. Neither of us speaks, words feel useless now. When we reach the treeline, the officer signals us forward. We sprint across open ground as bullets whip past, slamming into the dirt around us. Explosions rip through the air, mortars raining down. I dive behind a log, ears ringing, lungs burning. Forward. The officer screams, waving his pistol. Petro and I push ahead, firing as we go. The bridge looms ahead, littered with debris and bodies. A shell lands close, too close. The blast throws me to the ground, my vision swimming. Through the haze, I see Petro struggling to his feet, then a burst of gunfire cuts him down. Petro! I scream, scrambling toward him. But the officer grabs me, dragging me back. Leave him. We can't stop. I fight against his grip, but more shells fall, forcing us to retreat. Smoke swallows everything. By the time we regroup, Petro is gone, whether dead or captured, I don't know. The loss hits harder than any wound. I feel hollow, like the last piece of me holding on to hope has been ripped away. That night, I sit alone, staring at the rifle in my lap. The fire has burned down to embers, the camp eerily quiet except for distant gunfire. Petro's absence is unbearable. He was more than my friend, he was the last reminder of home, of the man I used to be. And now he's gone. I think of Lena and our son. I promised I'd come back, but that promise feels empty now. Every day, I feel less human, more like a weapon, a shell of the man I was. The officer calls us together at dawn. We've located a supply depot behind enemy lines, he says. We strike tonight. If we can destroy it, we'll cripple their advance. It's suicide, and we all know it. But no one protests. At this point, there's nothing left to lose. Andrei, pale and limping on a crude crutch, grips my hand. Bring them hell, he says through clenched teeth. I nod, unable to speak. That night, under cover of darkness, we move out, silent shadows through the ruined countryside. My stomach churns with dread, but my hands are steady now. Fear doesn't grip me the way it once did. Only emptiness. We reach the depot just before midnight, rows of tents, crates, and fuel drums guarded by a handful of sentries. The officer signals us to spread out. My pulse hammers as we creep closer, knives ready to silently take down the guards. The first sentry falls without a sound. Then another. We begin planting explosives among the crates, working fast. But luck never lasts. A shout breaks the night. Gunfire erupts. Run! Someone yells as bullets slice through the darkness. I dive for cover, firing back blindly. The charges are set, but we're pinned down. A comrade sprints forward, lighting the fuse before a shot cuts him down. The world erupts in fire. The blast throws me to the ground, deafening and blinding all at once. Through the flames, I see chaos, men screaming, burning, the enemy scattering as more explosions chain react through the depot. I stumble to my feet, half blinded, my ears ringing. The officer is down. Most of our men are gone. I run, through smoke, through fire, through hell itself, until I collapse in the forest beyond. Lying there, gasping, I realize how few of us remain. And in that moment, I know the war is far from over. But something inside me has changed forever.